Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So I got day 2 in the morning ready to go. And I did not see this yet, so we're gonna watch this together. I hope we get to hear. I don't know, the prosecutor goes first, so we're gonna be going through the prosecutor a little bit and before we get to that defense attorney again. But let's see how it goes. Here we go. Hi,
Everyone,
Judge.
please be seated. We're back on the record in case number CR 2023 02026, State versus George Allen Kelly. The record will show the presence of all the jurors, counsel, and the defendant, and the state can call its first witness.
Your Honor, the government's going to call Officer Captain.
Good morning, sir. Step forward to the clerk and get sworn in, please.
Solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give the matter before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or so be your purpose.
Thank you, sir. Witness stand over here. Hold that microphone. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Officer Captain.
Good morning.
Can you just briefly introduce yourself to the jury? Say your name and spell your name and what agency you work with.
Yes, I'm Sergeant Stephen Cafton. I'm a sworn sergeant for the state of Arizona Department of Public Safety. I've been a sworn peace officer for the state of Arizona for 25 and a half years.
In that 25 and a half years with Department of Public Safety, may I say DPS?
Yes.
With DPS, have you provided assistance to sister agencies like the Sheriff's Department and other jurisdictions before?
Yes, part of our mission at the Department of Public Safety is an assist agency helping other agencies with whatever services we can provide.
In fact, you did that same thing in this case, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Let's talk about what you did in this case. Can you briefly describe to the jury, you did a 3D scan in this case, correct?
Yes, that's correct. One of the things that I've been trained on by the department is the use of terrestrial laser scanners, which is basically it's a system that uses infrared lasers to determine the physical shape of objects. If you've ever
Too late. He said terrestrial. There's aliens in this, guys. Aliens.
seen a science fiction movie where the little alien droid comes down and you see the laser scanning something and then it sees it in its brain. This system does the very same thing, except it uses invisible or infrared lasers to do that. So in this case, I was asked by the prosecution if I could use the laser scanning technology we have to create, or what we call reality capture, to create a three-dimensional image of the area that this incident took place in.
And you've been trained in, what device did you use?
Yes, so specifically, I used a device made by Leica Industries called an RTC 360, and I have been trained by both the department and Leica Industries to use this instrument to both capture crime scenes, including primarily we use it to capture collision scenes, but I've been trained to capture regular crime scenes, including rural areas. as
Sounds sus.
And your assistance was requested by the sheriff's department and the prosecution team?
well. Yes, that is correct.
Right. Do you recall creating what I would call a grid map, a scan plan?
Yes, so part of setting up for a reality capture would be looking at the area that is to be captured by the instrument and then making what's referred to as a scan plan. Basically, it's a hand-drawn diagram where I kind of create a map of where I'm going to put the scanner each time to best scan the scene. I also do kind of a rough sketch of the scene so I can get an idea of where I'm going. And then as I execute the plan, I update my little hand-drawn map with the locations where I put the scanner to perform each scan, and just some other things, kind of like a landmark, primarily so that I know what I did, and then the registration process, which would be all the data that's gathered by the scanner. We would take it back to the office, and someone, either myself or someone else, would use a computer program to put all that data together to make one seamless image. So in that case, the hand-drawn map can help us get an idea of where each scan took place and put it all together. In this case, it was assembled by somebody else, so that the scan plan would certainly help him do that. But yes, in this case, I did do a scan plan of the scene.
So you have two things. You've got the scan plan and you have the raw data. Would that be correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And the raw data is being analyzed by some other person, not you.
Yes, that's correct. In this case, I only
Aliens.
executed the scan, but I did not perform any post-processing on the data at all.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as government exhibit number 9, but not for publication, just for judge, witness, and attorneys. This on.
It's
What?
upside down, but yes, that's it.
Oh, that's it? It's upside down?
Yes.
I don't have a computer on mine, so I can't tell. Is that
Okay, yes, there you go.
I have everything? I don't.
We can't see it. We don't have anything over here.
Well, hold on. Let me just wait. Let me just. I'll admit it. I'll look to it. Is that the scan plan that you recall creating for this case?
Yes, it is.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of that?
Yes, yes, it is.
You're going to move to admit exhibit number 9. It's only page 3 of exhibit number 9.
But we still can't see it.
You can't admit something without her seeing it first, dude.
Oh,
No, there's a way you can do it where it doesn't include the jury.
It's just that drawing.
yeah, just
Okay.
We have no objections, Your Honor.
Is it the whole of the exhibit or just part of the exhibit?
just page 3 of the exhibit, Your Honor.
That's all you're offering at this time?
Yes, page 1 and 2 is his report.
So page 3 of exhibit 9 without objection is admitted.
Move to publish, Your Honor.
Yes.
Like everything else, we need to get warmed up here. There we go. So here, let me try to get the whole thing on. Let's zoom out. Here we go. Walk us through real quick, Officer Kaftan, on what we're looking at here.
Okay, so again, this is the hand-drawn scan plan or map, for lack of a better term, that I created at the scene. You'll see there's a north arrow indicating at the very top left-hand corner, you can see there. And then at the bottom of the page, you'll see the house that's Mr. Kelly's residence, along with some outbuildings, a pergola, the long lines going through the center of the page about 1/3 of the way up, and then 2/3 of the way up indicate barbed wire fence for some pasture that's there. Then the other marks that are on there. So if you'll see, there's a series of circles that have numbers in them. Each one of those circles is a location that I set up the scanner, and it's also the order of the scan. So obviously number 1 would be the first time I took a scan using the instrument. 2, 3, onto number 29. So each time it roughly indicates the location that I placed the scanner and executed a scan with it. There is, if you look in the center, there is a little square. I know it's kind of far away for you guys to see, but just above the house there, you'll see a little square, and below it, there's a line with 2 X's on either side that indicates a validation measurement
We need that prosecutor to turn her computer back around. Rude.
that I placed into the scene. Yes, right about there. And essentially what that is it's a 10-foot steel tape measure that I placed on the ground with cones on either side of it that will be picked up by the scanner. And that way inside the program, you can go in there and then, once we've created the digital or the 3-dimensional image of what we captured, the program can, as a measuring tool, you can measure that and get the same 10-foot measurement. And you can say, okay, that this is then accurate to what was out there. There's another one at the very top. There's kind of a little diamond at the top that indicates the approximate location of the victim. And there, I placed a 7-foot measurement in there too, simply just using the cones that were already part of that location. In addition, there is a series of like little asterisks with a circle around them, and they indicate large orange traffic cones that I brought with me to the scene and placed throughout the scene. And part of that was just to assist in the registration so that there was verifiable objects in between each scan that I knew had been placed there by me that I could use or someone else could use later on just to put all these different scan locations together. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. There's a series of very small.
There's stuff going on. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, first off, no, the family's not here except for these 2 people. I just thought they would all be here for every single minute. Nobody's on his side. Okay, now the prosecutor just left. And I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence, but she came back in with this guy who sat on this side. And now this woman, one of the other defense attorneys, is like, she was going like this, like, hold it up, hold it up. I don't know what she wants, but she wants something. And I don't know what it is. And I wish I could see the picture.
Blue evidence markers that we use that I was shown by the detective. So if you, Mr. Jay, if you see down there at the top right-hand corner of the house, so go down a little bit off the porch right there. Yes, there's 1 cone, and then just to the left of it, there's a series of 3 cones. And the detective that walked me through the scene showed me the approximate location of the shell casings they found. They found 1, and then just to the left of it, they found a series of a few more. So I placed small blue cones there indicating the locations that were shown to me by the detective. And that way they would show up in the scanner as well. So as you're looking at the 3-dimensional imagery that we created, you could see these approximate locations in there and where they were.
And what day was the scan done on?
I believe it was done on June 29th of 2023.
June 29th. And what time of day was it?
Where are you going?
I believe we started the whole process somewhere around 10 to 10:30. By the time I had the scanner set up and operational, it was getting closer to 11. And it if I recall correctly, it took me 2 to 3 hours to execute all 29 of these scans.
And we're just waiting on, evidently, the raw scan data disk isn't with me right now. So we're waiting on that to be from our office. But that's all the questions I have. We'll move to admit when I have the scan for you to review.
Okay. Who is she? So she just walked in and sat down on his side. She barely glanced in his direction once, but hasn't said a word to him. And now she's pulling the tissue box closer to her. I wonder who she is.
Okay.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh no, wrong attorney.
So I have your diagram that you created that's being published to the jury right now. Could you tell me what the purpose of you doing this diagram itself?
Yes, again, so as we use the instrument, the laser scanner, part of it is walking through the scene and developing a plan where we're going to place the scanner each time to effectively capture an entire area. As the scanner is placed, obviously, it can only see, just as you're standing in a room, maybe you can't see what's behind a wall or a couch or something. The scanner can't either. So you have to develop kind of a plan to move the scanner around so that it can see everything that needs to be captured. So part of doing this is like a pre-planning map. And then as the scanner is actually placed and the scan is executed, I'll update the map so that I know where the scanner was placed in relation to the crime scene. So also nothing on this diagram was drawn necessarily to scale. It's just a rough sketch to give me or someone that's going to use the data after me an idea of where everything was in relation to itself.
Okay, well, you did answer a little bit, but that's what I'm confused about. What's the purpose of it after you create this drawing? How is this used with other people?
Okay, again, so after the data is collected by the scanner, it's brought into a Leica's program that's referred to as Registry 360, and it is the post-processing software that actually brings in all the raw electronic data from the scanner and turns it into one seamless three-dimensional image. So in that process, the scans are lined up. They're mostly lined up by the instrument itself in the field. The post-processing software will continue the registration process, but sometimes that registration has to be completed by hand and it has to be verified by the user that's doing the post-processing. So in that, you'll see, I don't have an example in front of me, I apologize, but if you were to see the program, when it imports, you would see a little yellow dot with a number on it, exactly like the circles I made on the screen. And then that would help whoever is doing, either myself or whoever does the post-processing, know where each setup is in relation to each other. Also, once the registration process begins and you can see the imagery, the things that I've placed, hand drawn into the diagram, you can then verify it and say, okay, I know, for instance, you can see the pergola I drew in there and the house and the porch. So once I'm in the diagram, I can now find, the electronic version, I can now find those objects, or whoever is conducting the post-processing can find those objects and orient himself to the electronic three-dimensional image that's being created.
Well, is it important that you incorporate other items that might be out there, or do you just randomly pick something to put on there as a marker?
So when I draw it, obviously I can't draw everything that's out there. So I try to find significant objects, houses, especially geometrically significant objects like the house, pergola, stairs, things like that. But also in this case, there was things like a wood pile, a pile of logs, things I knew would be easy to find again in a digital imagery, be easy to find and verify again. So yes, I do. It's up to me what I select to put in there. There's no rule, but the idea again is just that myself or someone else can orient all these scans in relation to each other and verify that the three-dimensional image we create is accurate to what we captured in the field.
Obviously, this is a shooting case. You're aware of that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And obviously, this is you have in your drawing what might be the approximate location of the body, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you know that ultimately they may want to reflect this as a crime scene, correct? This drawing is to reflect the crime scene. Do you know that?
The purpose of this drawing was not to reflect the crime scene. It was simply to make a map of the scanning mission that I conducted.
Well, is it important to put things out there that might be obstacles or large fixtures?
I'm not sure exactly what the defense is getting at, but again, I placed in the scan plan the objects that I felt were significant to help me conduct the registry or someone else conduct the registry once the scanning mission was complete.
Well, I know this is going to someone else, but they're going to rely on this to help them get to what they're doing. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And so, and you actually were at this scene?
On the 29th, yes, I was physically present at this location.
So this is approximately 6 months after the incident, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So 6 months after the incident, and he chooses what objects go into this diagram? How in the world is that okay? I don't understand how that could be evidence for anything.
And you don't know exactly what may be new or old out there as far as was it there then at the date of the incident versus the date you were there. You have no idea, correct?
Yes, that is correct. I can only attest to the way it looked on the 29th when I was there.
I'd like to present a piece of evidence for viewing of this witness. May I approach the Elmo?
Yes.
Does the court like me to request that movement?
You don't have, not
Okay.
necessary, but thank you, but not
Thank you.
necessary.
Is this discreet now? I mean, okay. Let's see which way you put it down. How do I know? There's no viewing.
Be careful.
Oh, I see that. Well,
It's not.
how do I see what's?
Go ahead.
Well, I just don't know if it's in the view or not. For the witness and the court.
Everybody. Right.
I haven't admitted it yet, so
I can see it, but it's not on the screen up there, if that helps you.
yeah, it's not supposed to be. So let me show you what's being marked. I hope you can see it because I don't have anything to reflect what's being shown. As defense KK, can you identify that?
Can you
Photo?
it's upside down. Can you rotate it?
That's what I needed to see.
Yeah,
I have to
if
be-
you can just turn it 180 degrees, thank you.
This is a new equipment and I just need to figure out how it works.
Yeah, okay, I can see.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's in the parameters or nothing because there's nothing for me to view it with. So
Your Honor, as they're fixing the technology here, is there a exhibit number
I
or
said
letter?
KK,
KK?
defense KK.
Is there an image number from a disclosure?
You can't see it either?
No.
There's a way to show the judge and the lawyers, not the jury and not the public. That's what we need.
Is it on?
No, now it's off.
We had it, lost it.
Had it, lost it?
There you got it back.
You're not supposed to be able to.
Judge, I have no objection to the omission of this.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
I'll try to different. All right, so permission to publish it?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if the jurors could see it or not. There we go. Can you identify this photo?
It appears to be Mr. Kelly's property.
Okay, can you clearly see it well in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's see how the zooms work on this thing.
Jorge. Oh, she's got it. Okay, never mind.
So going back, looking at your drawing, I have it in my hand. Right now, the jurors can only see the photo marked Defense Exhibit KK. And where is this photo from your memory taken?
This appears to be taken from an area roughly on the port side, looking towards the pergola, that paddock area, or the area that was covered by the dual barbed wire fences, and towards what was described to me as the approximate location of the victim. So roughly in that direction.
So if I was standing looking at this scene, the house would be behind me. Would that be correct?
That's my recollection, is yes, that would be
This
correct.
appears to be the end of your little porch area. In other words, you can't see what's down here at the bottom that would extend to the house, but there was a little porch area right there.
Yes, that's my recollection. Is there was kind of like a breezeway porch that went around the house itself, and then there was kind of a brick patio area that extended from the house towards the area of this pergola is my recollection.
Okay. Now, this item here I'm going to point is a fixated object that's built in. It's a smoker. That wasn't something that you needed to mark on your map?
I don't recall exactly if that object was there or not, but it wasn't important to me to, if it was there, it wasn't important to place on the map because, again, generally the map is just to give me an idea of the overall scene in relation to where the scanner was placed each time.
Okay. So this is not important for anyone to use in understanding your map as far as things and obstacles that may be reflected out in this scenery, correct?
As far as the scan plan, no, because if that was in fact there, it's going to be captured by the scanner. So the actual three-dimensional image that's created from the raw data, that or anything else that was out there will be reflected in that imagery.
So same with the tree, for example, that wasn't important for your plotting your little points on your map.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Do you have any idea why you were called out so late?
I'm not really sure why the lateness of it, but I just know that my assistance was requested by both the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Department and the prosecution team, and so I offered my assistance.
And I heard you say that these are approximate locations, not exactly precise. Is that correct?
Yes, again, this is just a hand-drawn diagram to give us an overall idea where the scanner was placed, but it's not necessary that this diagram be precise. It's just really to give things, give the user an idea of where things were in relation to another, because the instrument itself is going to be the precise data.
Well, let me get a little more specific to that question. You said in the map, and I'm going to repost it up there just to refresh, that there's an approximate location, and I'm putting back up the state's exhibit, number 9. And you're reflecting the possibility of a body out in this direction here?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, there obviously the victim was not there. That's just the approximate location that was shown to me by the detectives.
Okay, so, all right, so that brings clarity. Basically, someone walked you out there and said, this is about where the body was found.
Yes, that's correct. They also had a digital photograph of cones that had been placed that day that was shown to me. So I did my best to look at the area, look at what was shown to me, and look at that photograph when I placed the cones as the approximate location.
And do you have that photo that you relied on?
No, I do not have that photo. It was shown to me, but I do not have it.
Well, let me re-describe this terrain. A lot of those photos that the state took is just on the ground, with not a lot of content around it to give you a fixture or something to estimate its location. There's a lot of grass out there, a lot of trees. Would you agree with that?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. And you familiar with these type of trees? Are they mesquite trees?
Yes, Arizona does have a lot of mesquite trees.
Okay. And it's kind of hard to know which tree a picture might be reflecting if there's nothing unique about it, correct?
It's true, except I did not rely solely on the picture to find the location. The location was shown to me by the detectives.
So you mostly relied on the detective guessing where the body was.
I would assume that he knew that he wasn't guessing, but yes, I mostly relied on the detective showing me the location that the victim was located or found at.
Now, on your drawing, are you trying to reflect a shell casing at all?
Again, the small cones there just reflect the location that was described to me by the detectives where they found the shell casings. There was not actually shell casings there when I was on the scene on June 29th.
Okay, and what number is that reflecting on your drawing?
There is not a number for these. There is just a little legend marker that I placed in there. I know it's you guys may be able to see it on your screen in front of you, but if you see like the top right-hand corner of the porch area down on the bottom of the page, you'll see one small triangle, and then just to the left of it, you'll see 3 small triangles stacked in a larger triangle. That reflects the location that I've placed small blue evidence cones. Again, the detective said, this is where we located one of the shell casings, and this is the approximate location we located others. So I placed small blue markers there just so that in the reality capture, in the digital diagram, those locations could be seen.
He's going to show you how to touch it.
Yes, sir. Oh, excellent. Perfect. Okay. Whoa. All right. I'm sorry. I just made marks all over your screen. I apologize. I don't
Show
know.
how to click. Stay there.
This is the house.
Oh, I got you. All right. Let me remove those. Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Just so I understand, just to drop a couple more questions. Your porch, you have a little boundary there that seems to wrap around the house.
Yes.
So does that porch wrap around? Is that what the drawing is showing?
Yes, that is the house had like a external, like a breezeway or a covered porch that went around the house itself.
Okay. And you have a number 10 there just above the 4, or those little triangles that you mentioned. What is that reflecting?
Yes, so that number 10, you can see right there where I just put the arrow, approximately, took the arrow away. That indicates that validation measurement that I placed in there. So that's, it's just a little symbol that indicates that in that location, I placed a 10-foot steel tape measure on the ground with 2 cones on either side of it, indicating the 0 point and the 10-foot point that will then be captured by the scanner as I move through the scene.
I'll pass the witness.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Just want to make sure I knock this out before I forget. You provided raw data of the 3D scan, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So when I completed the scanning mission, the instrument records all of the data it captures onto a removable media thumb drive, if you will, inside the instrument. I removed and retained that thumb drive as evidence and then transferred it on the 3rd, which was just a couple of days later, to the Santa Cruz County Attorney's Office.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor. I'm going to show you what's going to be marked as Exhibit 113, 113.
Permission to treat witness as a hostile witness?
Yes.
Your Honor.
Explain what that is.
So this is it's a SanDisk SSD, and you'll forgive me, I can't remember exactly what SSD stands for. Right? Solid state, I'm sorry. It's a solid state media. How big were these things? Drive, basically. And this is the Santa Cruz County Attorney's Office purchased these at my request so that the digital information that was on the removable media from the instrument, obviously that has to stay with the instrument. I transferred that digital information or the digital evidence onto these drives at the Santa Cruz County Attorney's Office and then provided them to them.
Can you open that up and make sure there's the disc in there? Does that look to be the same disc you provide to the Sheriff's Department and Santa Cruz County Attorney's Office?
Yes, that's my recollection.
We're going to move to admit what's now marked as Exhibit 113.
No objections, Your Honor.
113 is admitted.
I'll take that from you.
Hearsay.
Let's go back to real quick to the map. We still have it up on view. I want to start with those cones. And so just orient the jury to what we're looking at. So this is the back of the house,
Yes,
right? And this is a pergola.
that's correct.
And then you recall a patio porch, right?
Yes, so my recollection is, and don't quote me exactly, between that pergola and the what's marked as the porch on there, the breezeway, there is some type of brickwork that extended between the two of them. That's actually that 10-foot validation measurement was laid on that brickwork.
This is your opportunity now to draw on that screen. You want to draw on that screen where we're talking about?
Let's see. Wow, that's really big. So roughly in that area, and the pergola kind of went up an embankment. So right in that area, there would have been a series of like 2 or 3 steps that led up to it.
Okay, and those triangles right to the right side of that right line you drew, you see the little 3 triangles, and there's a 4th triangle on its own?
Yes,
Those are the placement where officers indicated to you shell casings were located.
yes, that's correct. Those are the locations that were indicated to me that shell casings were found.
And just to make sure I got this, I've got your report if you need to refresh your recollection, but you recall the address of where the 3D scan was done?
For the exact street address, I know it was Willow Drive, but I'd have to see the report for the exact street number.
You have permission to approach the witness? I'm showing you page 1 of Exhibit 9, which is not admitted, but I just want you to review that report. Look up when you're done if it refreshes your recollection on the address the 3D scan was performed.
Yes.
What's the address?
So it was 100 East Willow Drive. Willow Cross Circle. Forgive me.
And I'm gonna come get my steps in. And the purpose of this scan is not to scale, right?
Yes, this hand drawn is not designed to be a scale representation or a crime scene diagram in any way. It's solely to assist in registering the scanner, the 3D reality capture when we're done.
And you've seen the end result of this 3D scan data outlaid, right? You've seen the end result, right?
Actually, no, I have not. I have not reviewed it.
Oh, okay. So no more questions for you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You can step down. The state can call its next witness.
The state's going to call DPS Officer Raina. May this officer be excused? For
No objections.
Yes, witness is excused.
you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Good morning.
Morning.
For the record, can you just state and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, first name is Oscar, last name is Reina, Reyna.
And just briefly introduce yourself to the jury.
I'm an Arizona State Trooper. I've been working for the Arizona Department of Public Safety since 2016. I am a field training officer, general instructor. I'm a REACT member, driving instructor, spike instructor, and grappling instructor with the Arizona Department of Public Safety.
Smarticle particle here.
Previous to that, from 2007 to 2013, I worked as a detention officer for the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. Then from 2013 to 2016, I was a deputy sheriff for the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office.
I apologize, Your Honor, but I'm having a hard time hearing him and with a translator right to my left also. I'm not hearing every word.
Thank you for letting me know. Right.
You get an opportunity to repeat yourself.
Sorry.
That's fine. Is that better?
Jurors?
Okay. So from 2007 to 2013, I worked as a detention officer for the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. From 2013 to 2016, I was a deputy sheriff. From 2016 until now, I've been a state trooper. I work for the Arizona Department of Public Safety. Sorry. With DPS, Department of Public Safety, I am a field training instructor. I'm a general instructor, driving instructor, grappler instructor, spike instructor. I'm also a drone operator, fly my drone, and I'm part of the REACT team.
And you're here to talk about the drone.
Yes.
All right. Before I get into that, have you, how long have you been with DPS?
For approximately 8 years now.
8 years. And during that 8-year period, is it routine, common for you to assist sister jurisdictions on investigations when requested?
Yes, that's one of our, we help out other agencies, smaller agencies that don't have a lot of resources like we do as the state agency.
All right. Your involvement in an overview, what did you do in this case, this investigation?
I was contacted to fly my drone and get an aerial map of the area where the incident occurred. Just top view, overview of the drone and from the house to where the victim was located in this case.
Have we figured out the display just for us, not to the jury? Have we figured that out? You can see that.
We can't see it.
We'll go old school. We'll figure this out. I'm going to show council photo and a disc marked as state exhibit number 36. Permission to approach, Your Honor. Officer Raina, I'm showing you what's been marked as state exhibit number 36. Do you recognize both there's an envelope there and a photo. Do you recognize both?
Yes,
In the envelope, what's in the envelope?
it's a USB drive that has all the data obtained from the drone.
Okay, and you had an opportunity to review that and sign off on that, right?
Correct.
Are both of those fair and accurate representations of both the drone footage and the photo from the drone footage?
Yes.
Your Honor, move to admit exhibit number 36 into evidence.
Permission to take this witness on board, Honor?
Yes.
Sir, in the photo I believe we're looking at, I just briefly looked at it, there were some lines put on the photo. Correct?
Correct.
That didn't come from the drone itself, did it?
No, that came from the program used to put all the pictures together from the drone.
Did, in your descriptions of your background, do you have that skill set to put a line through a photo like that?
I didn't say this, but yes, I've taken classes for the system that we use.
Do
with
you
the drone.
mind explaining that experience, sir?
I've taken about 2 classes, about 24 hours each, using the system, where we put all the photos from the drone, import them into the system, and the system automatically creates the map of all the pictures that we took. Sorry. Puts all the pictures together, and that creates that top view. There's several pictures that all combine into just one big picture. In that system, we can take measurements from one point to another. Everything's done internally in the computer in the system. We don't input any numbers or any data other than just the pictures.
But I'm still confused on why there's a line in your drone photo.
This line came after the drone flew and it was put into the system.
Well, Your Honor, I'm going to object to this piece of evidence at this time that this is a photo taken by his drone, which he testifies the disc is for, but there is a line put in there, some form of measurement that alters this photo, and I'm not sure that the state has proven this up yet to add that to the photo.
Objection sustained.
Your Honor, may I approach and grab the exhibit?
She won that one.
Your Honor, permission to continue inquiring. On that photograph, I have it now, but you don't have it, but you had an opportunity to review this photograph, right?
Yes,
On that photograph, do you see that one of the lines is a north-south line
yes,
and the other line is a east-west line?
yes,
And these are compass lines, right?
correct.
I'm going to
And-
object to leading.
Sustained.
And what's the third line, the green line? What's that green line?
That's the measurement from point A to point B.
Your Honor, I think the foundation has been laid. 2 lines are compass lines, and 1 line is just a distance from the home to the location of the body.
Which is the line or lines to which the defense objects?
May I see the exhibit, please? Because
All the lines.
I still object to the foundation of the measurements of these lines, how it was done. I'm not sure where he's getting this information to put these lines on his drone image.
Sustained.
Are you familiar with GPS coordinates?
Yes,
You familiar with how GPS coordinates?
Object to leading.
Overruled.
You familiar with how what's the purpose of a GPS coordinate?
just to get the actual location of measurements or where we actually taken the photos of, where we at exactly, in case we need to go back and locate the same area.
Were you given a GPS coordinate of the victim's body in this case?
I was given the location where it was. The drone, when I operated, was connected to the my phone's Wi-Fi, which was able to get a GPS location on it.
So you had a GPS coordinate for the location of the body.
From the drone, yes.
And can the drone do a measurement from point A to point B and give you a distance?
That we get it on the system. On the once we put it all together, since it's done to scale, it automatically gives us, we can get that measurement.
So your drone system, the one that you operated in this case, did that measurement.
Yes.
You're on a move to admit Exhibit 36.
May I continue with my voir dire? A drone is, let me understand this, and the jurors might need to know, is basically a camera that is flown over an area, right?
Yes.
That system, the drone itself is not a computer, is it?
I don't know.
So, well, you just testified on this with the state that it offered some measurements and different things, which a computer would be able to do, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, are you familiar with photogrammetry?
Can you say that again?
Are you familiar with photogrammetry?
No.
Okay.
That's
Are you
a made-up
familiar
word.
with the software behind that that allows to get these accurate measurements? It comes from software in a computer, not a drone. Would you agree?
I'm not 100% sure.
You didn't draw these lines on this
Press
photo.
star 6 to mute or unmute yourself.
What's that? Moving along. You didn't actually create these lines, did you?
It was, I selected point A to point B in the computer program, and that's the line that we got.
What computer program did you utilize?
Maps 360.
So this is just you putting a line on a drone image
Yes.
without computer assisted technology?
It was done in the program, Maps 360.
So you altered this photo and put your own line on this photo
I did not alter the photo, no.
by putting a line across it through a maps program, correct?
Correct.
Not a scientific program that is utilized in photogrammetry with accuracy. Isn't that true?
I don't understand your question.
Okay, I'm going to object to this photo, Your Honor. Same reasons.
Any other questions for the witness?
No, I move to submit the exhibit as exhibit number 36 into evidence.
Uh,
I'm sorry, Your Honor, there's two things. There's the actual data and the photograph. So two things. 36, talking about the disc of the drone. That's number 36A. We'll mark that 36A. 36B would be the photograph.
36B is admitted. The objection to 36A is sustained.
The actual drone footage.
The data. Isn't that what he has? Is that what that's
No, we're talking about 36B. We're talking about the actual photograph, but 36A, that is the raw footage of the drone, correct?
Correct, that's a USB.
That's a USB, and it captures what the drone saw, and there's no manipulation, nothing added to that, is there?
Correct. That's everything that was saved into the disk inside the drone and it's downloaded into that USB. No alterations are there.
36A and 36B are admitted.
You're gonna move to publish 36B. That's the photograph, right?
Yes.
All right, and we see on there, can you show that you don't know this, but you can actually mark your screen. Show the north, you got a pen. Show the north-south line. Don't be afraid, you can mark the screen.
I'm trying to.
All right.
Bring this-
And it's hard to see, but it's a blue line on the left-hand side. You circled the majority of that line, right?
Right.
All right, and I think if you tap you can clear the screen. Tap the left of the screen. Is it left or right where you tap to clear it?
Left. Top left.
Oh, she can clear it. Okay. She'll clear it. Okay. And for the jury, would you circle or mark?
I am very sorry for how painful it is to watch everybody with technology here. I know it hurts. I know it's painful. Breathe through it.
The east and west line. And that's just one little part of it, right?
Yes, it marked black before, so I marked so I didn't see it.
And you talked about, so we've got this seemingly odd photo. Most people are used to a photo where they take with their phone that captures the whole screen, but we got this thing on top of some kind of grid. What's the black stuff versus the image stuff?
The image is all the photos the drone took put together. The black area is photo. I mean, it's just drone didn't take photos of that area. So all you see together is all the photos the drone took, just put into one big piece.
Okay, and then clear that screen if you don't mind. Thank you, ma'am. And then mark the line that shows the distance between the house and location of the body, the victim's body. See, that's a much better circle. There.
Sorry.
All right. So that is the line. The green line is from the house to the where the victim's body was
Well,
found.
Yes.
I'm going to show opposing counsel Exhibit 37, which is 3 photographs.
Please tell me all of them have lines. Please. Please, I want to see her flip.
No objections, Your Honor.
Move to admit Exhibit 37 to evidence. Your Honor.
37 is admitted.
I'm going to go show you, and we're going to mark these as 37A. A is an alpha is the first photo. We've got appears to be an aerial photo, right?
Yes.
What am I looking at? Do you recall?
I think this was behind the residence.
What?
The residence, the home.
What am I looking at though specifically? Do you recall? Would that be the pergola?
Looks like a picnic area.
And do you see a top there? Do you see a fountain?
Yes,
And you see some cones to the left of that fountain?
correct.
All right, and that middle structure, what we call a pergola, you see that? Picnic area?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you what's marked as State Exhibit 37B as in boy. You see that photo?
Yes,
An aerial photo also, right?
correct.
And we see that same fountain,
Yes,
same cones,
yes,
and the same pergola, right?
correct.
Just a different aerial photo, right?
Yes.
And finally, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State Exhibit 37C as in Charlie. Do you see that photo?
Yes,
Also an aerial photo?
correct.
And what do we see do you see that circle of cones?
Yes.
What is that? Do you call?
That's where I was told the victim was found.
Right where the cones are at, right?
Correct. In
Yeah.
between the cones.
If we go to Exhibit 36B, we see the end over there. Can you circle the end of that green line? These are the same things, right?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
I
He's
move to
scoring me.
publish the drone footage where I think it's ready to tee it up. I think it's the drone footage image is from 36A, which has been admitted.
I'll have no objection if that's what that evidence is.
Very well.
I wonder where his wife is today. I really want to know who this girl is right here. But no, nobody from yesterday is there. They're here. They're all here. And no, they're not looking at him. They're looking at the TV. We've established this.
Helps if you plug it in. Still not showing the picture.
Of course, it's not. I should stop this here, and we could take bets on how long it takes them to fix it, and then show the rest tomorrow. But I won't.
Can you turn that off? I don't want to put anything inadvertently on the screen.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so
Giving me
mean.
a presenter view, Judge. I'm trying to figure out what happened since Friday.
As she's pulling that up, officer, do you remember the address, the location of where the drone footage was conducted?
It was 100 East Willow Cross Circle in Kino Springs.
Here in Santa Cruz County, right?
Correct, here in Santa Cruz County.
And you remember the date you conducted the drone footage?
The data one is February 1st at approximately 10 a.m.-ish.
I'm assuming February 1st of 2023.
I'm sorry, yes,
All right, so last year, February 1st.
correct.
Just a court's indulgence, just as the system is booting.
I think we're good now.
But no, they are not good. No, I don't know. Everybody's watching the screen very intently, so the drone must be flying over right now.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can I get this marked? I believe it'll be ZZ.
So are we not hearing from that other attorney? Is she just gonna like do closing? What's going on?
May I approach the witness with this? looking at this yourself, could you look through these different photos that's now been marked Defense ZZ and tell me if you could identify all these photos that are in that exhibit?
Aaron, just for the record, council has not seen the exhibits.
I'm trying to prove them up and I was going to tender it to you.
You-
I just don't know how to right now. nothing-
You'll see them before they're,
Yes.
Sure.
before they're admitted, if they're admitted.
Can you identify all these exhibits, all these photos within the exhibit?
The last two are not my photos.
Okay, can you identify them? Do you know what it is?
Looks like a map or a picture, Google Maps maybe, I don't know, of the area.
Okay, does it, of the area of this scene that you used your drone?
Yes, I can see the house right here.
So does this accurately depict the same view that your drone would be able to take if it was that high up?
Yes.
Okay, and both of the photos, because you mentioned the last two.
The last photo, I don't know what that is.
Okay, let me peel that one off. So did you take any aerial photos with your drone of the barn?
No.
Okay. I'm taking the last photo off this exhibit, but otherwise everything here accurately depicts the scene.
Yes.
And I will tender it to the state since our equipment isn't working yet.
Yeah. What exhibit numbers are
ZZ.
these? Oh, okay, gotcha. No objection. Yeah, no objection. No objection, Your Honor.
ZZ is admitted,
Thank you, Judge. Permission to publish.
granted.
Now, some of these photos we're going to publish to the jurors in the court. I think. Some of these we've seen, but a lot of these we haven't. Okay, so let's go back over this. Okay, so first of all, I'm pointing to a building. Is that reflecting the house?
Yes.
And there is a little boxed area right here that I'm pointing with my my pointer, which is my pen. Is that the pergola or the patio covering?
Yes.
Okay. And then there is a line here that somehow got on this map through your program that you used. And is that taking you in the direction of where the deceased was found?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there a reason why you only do like a flying over the area versus are you capable of doing something lower in showing the terrain?
Yes, I'm capable.
Okay, did you do any such flyover?
Lower, no.
Okay, there's a lot of things in this terrain that's between these two locations, the patio and the deceased. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how far out that is between the patio or the house to where the deceased was located?
It's about 350. That's the measurement shown there in the picture.
350 what?
Feet.
Okay. Do you know how many yards that would be?
No.
All right. So 350 feet out, I had to do, have my staff help me here to make sure it's been measured mostly in yards. So I think it's pretty accurate. And there's a lot of things in between. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, let me show you what has already been entered into evidence, which is KK's, Defense KK. And I'm going to put this photo up for you to see. Upside down. Let me remember to do it the other way. Does this look familiar to you?
Looks like the bottom view of the pictures from the drone.
Okay. Is this, to your knowledge, heading in the direction where the deceased was supposedly found?
I couldn't tell because I wasn't there or looking from that picture.
So you never placed yourself on this patio and in the direction of where people told you there was a body found?
Correct, I did not.
Okay. And you would agree that this appears to be a patio, brick patio starting there, maybe the corner of it right there. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And you do see the pergola though, right?
Correct.
And there's no house in front of us, so would it be fair to say that the house is probably behind this photo?
Yes.
Whoever took the photo? Okay. And there's a lot of things in here, and I want to keep reflecting back on this as we progress in your photos that I have put into my exhibit. And I'm going to move to the next photo. Okay, the next photo in Defense ZZ. You familiar with this location?
Yes.
Okay, are we, how many feet up do you think you might be in this photo?
Approximately 65 feet.
Okay. Is this looking down above the pergola?
Yes, it's looking down.
And now we can see the full patio, can't we?
Yes.
And then the house is reflected to the right of our screen, correct?
Correct.
And the patio seems to be some sort of brick or tile type brick laid down to create a patio. Is that true?
Yes.
Now, you have a line and it's a yellow arrow that's pointed to something. What is that supposed to be?
Cones.
Okay, and what's the cones reflecting?
From what I was told, that was where the suspect in this case shot.
Okay, so what measurements were you given to place that?
No measurements. I was just told from the cones to the area where it was circled in the brush.
So this is an estimate?
Yes.
And who told you that would be the location?
The detective on scene when I arrived.
So he just said, here, put it right here, and I put the cones? Or did you put the cones there?
The cones were already set up there.
So you have no idea how those cones got there, right?
Correct.
And let's work backwards. Let's move forward and we'll come back to this. Okay, can you see this photo that's in the same exhibit?
Yes.
And what are we looking at?
Top view of, looks like the end of the patio.
So have we progressed a little further out from the house?
Yes.
Is there still a line being reflected, what appears to be yellow?
Yes.
And what is that line reflecting?
That is the line that measure from the cones to where I was advised the victim was located.
And again, you not only don't know how the cones were placed there where the supposedly the person, my client, was standing, but you don't know for sure how they got an exact location of the body. Is that correct?
Correct.
You saw no measurements,
No, I did not.
no points that could say 3 feet from this tree or any other data points that would help with exact location.
All that I had was the cones and the area that was circled in the brush.
So as far as you know, this is an estimate.
Correct.
Okay. And you have no knowledge how they had information about that, correct?
Correct.
Now, you would suspect that they may have seen a deceased person out there. Would that be fair to guess?
Yes.
But you have no information why they place the person that supposedly followed these lines, the shooter, which they're trying to say is my client. You have no idea how they got that on there, do you?
Correct.
So you're just doing what you're being told to do, correct?
Yes.
We're going to move to the next photo in the same exhibit. What are we looking at here?
Still another view of the area. Moving closer to the end of the drone pictures.
Did you have to walk around when you flew your drone?
I stand by the area where the victim was located, and I just looked out for anything higher than my drone could hit.
Okay. So you guided it from the location of the alleged location of the deceased, correct?
Yes.
And what is all this wavy things in the photos?
It looks like brush.
So this is at this time, and this is January 30th, a year ago, correct?
That was February.
You did it in February.
Yes, February 1st.
And the incident date, did you know, was January 30th?
No, I did not.
Okay. But you were there in what day on February?
The 1st.
Okay. Shortly after. And even though it's wintertime, this is what we can see from above what the terrain would look like, right?
Yes.
Is there a reason why you couldn't put your drone down lower to reflect what was in the way between the 2 points, data points that are being reflected by your line?
There was a lot of vegetation that could impact or my drone could hit.
So that would be potentially dangerous for the life of your drone, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In other words, the drone could have been damaged if it ran into some of these vegetation, mesquite trees or whatever was out there, cactus, whatever might be out there.
Yes,
And it was heavily vegetated, correct?
as you can see in the picture.
Right. Had we seen it where it was lower, we would know that it's heavily vegetated. So we'll come back to that too. The next photo in this group that we've already omitted. Get it upside down again. Can you identify this photo?
Yes,
What is this?
it's from the same aerial pictures of the drone, just getting closer to the end.
And that would be closer to where the deceased was approximated to be located, correct?
Correct.
And these things that are a little bit darker, would that be more like trees? Or do you have any idea why it looks different than the lighter gray stuff on the ground?
That'd probably be shadows.
Okay, thank you. Let me show you the next photo in my exhibit. Can you identify this?
Yes, it's a photograph getting closer to where the victim was located.
Okay. We could barely see it, but there is still, your yellow line is in there, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And that's still heading between the 2 points that you were told to put a line between, correct?
correct.
And the next photo in this exhibit, what are we looking at here?
That's the location where the victim was located in this case.
Or estimated to be located,
Estimated.
right? Because you never saw no measurements, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, that's reflected with some cones on the ground.
Yes,
And I'm going to point to a couple, what I see are cones. Am I pointing to a cone?
yes,
And it seems to be a pretty good sized circle or area, correct?
correct.
So once again, seems to be reflecting an approximate location because it's not precise to one spot, correct?
Yes,
And I notice then if we follow the yellow line backwards to the left from the cones, it would be a continuation that would eventually get us back towards the house, correct?
yes,
And approximately to the cones that the detective or someone from his staff has set up, correct?
yes,
Okay. And you see there's quite a bit of trees there blocking in between where the deceased circle is heading down or up to the left in the line that is being reflected towards the house, correct?
yes, there was vegetation.
Is she trying to do like my cousin Vinny, or is it just me?
Council, this will be a good time for us to take our mid-morning recess. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stand in recess for 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Oh, no, no, no.
With all the terrain in the way and in the direction towards the house, other
Alright,
than
alright, I
the
messed up.
Defense Exhibit ZZ. And
There. That's where we're going. That's what we're saying. Revolutionary text. That's what it said.
Please have a seat. Record will show the presence of all the jurors, counsel, and the defendant. And Ms. Lothorpe, you can continue with your cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge. Is this back on? All right, I'm back to showing you, sir, Defense Exhibit ZZ, and another photo in that grouping. This white building is obviously reflecting the house. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. And this whole scene is a photo higher up than maybe your drone is capable of going, but it does reflect the terrain and the area, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, houses are usually fixated and can't be moved, but there is a little pin dropped approximately in the direction of where the deceased was located. So there's a good distance, and you omitted the amount of feet that this distance is between that building and the location of the deceased, correct?
Yes.
Now, you said earlier that you were standing out here where the cones were set up to reflect the deceased body, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you didn't pay a lot of attention in the direction towards the house other than the utilization of your drone?
Correct.
Okay. And I've never seen really a drone close up. We all see them on TV and whatever. Do you have some kind of camera in your hand that you could see the view of what your drone is seeing?
Yes.
Okay. And so, because when you're out here at this location where the deceased was, it's practically almost next to impossible to see the actual location of the house from the ground. Would you agree? With all the terrain in the way and all the trees and shrubs, and
It's visible.
you could see it?
The house, yes.
Okay. But you definitely, when you go above it, you could see it.
Yes.
Would you admit it's very difficult to see the building itself, though?
Not difficult, no.
No? Okay. And let me show you back to defendant's KK. Now, this is the patio view, and this is looking in the direction where you drew a line from the patio outward. Does that look familiar?
Yes, I've seen that picture.
Okay. And you can see you have a pergola, you have some kind of table or something sitting underneath the pergola, correct?
Yes.
You see there, and this is the very far corner. This is not where the cones are set up. The cones are more to the left and back. Would you agree from this photo?
Possibly, yes.
Okay, and I could show you back to that photo in a minute. And you see all the things that are in this direction. Immediately, we have a tree to the right, correct?
Yes.
We have a smoker, which I'm going to point to there, correct?
Yes.
Now, if you're standing to the left a little bit of this, and I'll go back to one of your photos to reflect what your hypothetical was. And I'm going to go back to the exhibit ZZ and show you the side, well, where the arrow finally ended up at. And I'm going to publish this for you. You see all the obstacles based on your line that are in the way of this hypothetical location where I believe you're putting cones as possible shooting position. There's a lot of things there, including the pergola, the table. We go further out, the smoker. A lot of things are in the way. Would you agree?
From this top view, all I see is the top. I don't know the height of the items
Right.
at the bottom.
But you could see it. You could see that it cuts through the pergola because the pergola actually extends out with, like right here, I'm going to point up to the screen. These are beams that are extending past the post there. And so that is also, and you can see it right here. Those planks of wood come out past the post that's crossing it. And it could very well be something that would be in the way of the location of your drawing. Would you agree?
Could be, yes.
Okay. And then there's the actual posts that hold up this pergola, right? We know it to be at least 4 posts on the corners of this rectangle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so reflecting, I'm pointing to a couple locations.
Okay. He was here yesterday with the same hat, and he has a briefcase. Who do we think this guy is? I wonder who this guy is. He's wearing blue jeans. So he has a briefcase, but I wouldn't say lawyer if he's wearing blue jeans, right? So I'm looking around to see if there's a press box anywhere. If he was press, he would have been here already, right? He wouldn't come like after that. I wonder who this guy is.
To show that something has to hold this pergola up, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so you never stood here to know that you would be shooting through your property. It would be a little bit of an obstacle to shoot from this location where the arrow ended up to get it in that direction where the deceased body was located. So you didn't know that, did you?
Correct.
Here's another photo.
This guy's like, ma'am, I was just told to take a picture with my drone. You're asking me all this stuff about obstacles of shooters. I was told to take a picture with my drone.
Standing closer to the home, looking out in that direction. So again, if you're a little bit to the left on the patio, and then you're trying to shoot through all this to someone that may be out there, you better be I don't know. I mean, why would anyone want to shoot through their property and do damage? Do you have any idea?
No.
No.
Why isn't the prosecutor?
And again, it was
objecting?
Detective Ines that told you to put those arrows there. Is that correct?
No.
And here's a close-up, I guess, of one of the obstacles in the same exhibit. Did you ever notice this obstacle?
Only from the air.
Okay, but you do see the post holding the pergola up, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you do see trees all around it, correct?
Correct.
Who told you to draw the line between the two sets of cones?
Detective Bunting.
And you had no idea why he wanted to do that, did you?
I hear candy, but I can't see the culprit.
He just wanted a measurement from the cones to where the victim was located.
How far is the measurement?
It's about 350 feet.
Feet or yards?
Feet.
Feet? Thank you. Okay. And again, another view, maybe past the pergola, looking out to the terrain. Does that look like the kind of terrain you were standing in?
I wasn't standing there at the house, no.
No, but outwards, going out there, you were.
Yes,
And this type of terrain was all around you, correct?
correct.
Another photo in the same set of evidence. This is zoomed in. Again, how thick the thicket was during that time, correct?
I don't know the date of this picture, so I don't know.
This is a crime scene photo, and so it would be very close to January 30th of last year when this happened. And we could see there's lack of leaves and stuff on the trees, and yet it's still very thick out there, isn't it?
Yes.
Just a moment, Your Honor. You know those, we had testimony earlier. It was a Leica testimony, laser scan, a map, raw data was created. Is there anything about that that you utilized?
No.
Okay. Have you ever sent your drone photos to someone that does do photogrammetry and actually make actual measurements and precision through their photos? Have you ever done something like that before?
No.
Are you aware that there is such thing out there?
I wasn't, no.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Redirect examination.
You like to take cake? I'm sorry, I do have both. Which one you want? You want both? Okay. Let
me just start off with the last
Don't worry, guys. This part's going to be very, very exciting.
question asked of you about, do you know if your data was sent to anyone outside of DPS for review, like another expert, or are you aware of any of that?
No, not that I know of.
Once you give it to the SO, you don't have control of what we do with it, right?
Correct.
And this is in no particular order, but I just want to make sure I have proper reference here.
Is he going to put it on upside down?
I'm going to show you what I believe is to be Defense Exhibit ZZ as in zebra. Just so we know, just for the record too, I'm going to show you ZZ, and we're going to label this one A as an alpha. You recognize that photo?
Yes.
And once again, that's a photo like the one you testified, I think, exhibit earlier, where it's the drone footage, all the capturing of data overlaid on a, that's why there's whiteness around it, right?
Correct.
We'll call that the club photo. Like a, I want to show you ZZ, B as in boy, second photo. And that's a photo where you show the arrow associated to cones. You see that?
Yes.
And once again, just so we know, you didn't set the cones up, right?
Correct. I did not.
Cones were set there prior.
Yes.
And you were instructed to take your measurement from the cones.
Yes.
I'm going to show you defense ZZ, C as in Charlie, the third photo. That's just another photo from above, getting further and further out, right?
Correct.
And these are your photos, right?
Yes.
I'm going to show you ZZ. We're going to do D as in David. That's the fourth photo. And you see on this, it's upside down. Let me just make sure it's correct.
Called it. Called it. Called it.
You see that photo? You see that photo, right?
Yes, I do.
On that photo, we've got some, let me ask you, what are the dark items? Let me point my pin to it. Where are these dark items here?
Those are big brush or shadows from the brush.
Looks like trees and tall stuff, right?
Yes.
And this gray stuff all around, what would that be?
It's the dried out vegetation, smaller vegetation.
Would that be the dry grass?
Yes.
And how tall is that dry grass? So we have a perspective.
I don't know, I would say no more than a foot.
Maybe 2 feet, but nothing up here, right?
Correct.
For demonstration, I'm pointing to my chest. Nothing that high, right?
Correct.
All right. Let me show you ZZ, the fifth picture. We're going to label it E as in echo. And you see there's actual number on there. Is that the roughly 350 foot measurement?
Correct.
And we're all familiar with mostly football. And so 350 divided by 3 is yards, right? Is a yard.
Yes.
I mean, 3 feet is a yard, right?
Correct.
So 350 divided by 3 would give us the yards, right?
Yes.
ZZF as in Frank. That's another photo. We're still going out to where the victim's body was found, right?
Correct.
And ZZG as in giraffe. We see the circle cones, right?
Yes.
Or the circle, and that's where the arrow ends.
Correct.
And do you have any information at all about the victim's body, where it came from, where the people were moving from, or whatever? Do you have any independent information about the victim's body, when it was shot, how it was shot, anything like that?
No.
You were just told that is where you want to do the measurement from, right?
Correct.
And finally, ZZ, H as in house, the last picture. This is like a Google map of it, right?
Looks that way, yes.
And this is one of your photos, right?
No.
No, not one of your photos. All right, but submitted. Up on top, you see the top right-hand corner, we have a legend.
Yes.
And what are those numbers? Can you guess what those numbers are?
Coordinates.
And what's another term for coordinates?
GPS.
GPS,
Location.
okay. And can you read those out for me, what that coordinates are?
31.353043 dash 110.802392.
Would that be a minus, not a dash? Would you know?
Correct. That's a minus.
Okay. And then on the map, you have the yellow pin. Why don't you can draw on that. Why don't you draw for me instead of me doing that? Draw me where the yellow pin's at. Okay, and erase it for me. Erase that left bottom screen. All right, and is that the coordinates there?
Yes,
Okay, so the coordinates are associated with the yellow pin,
yes.
and the yellow pin is where the victim's body was found.
I'm assuming yes.
I'm going to show you Defense Exhibit KK. We've got two photos here. One, I believe, is a defense photo. Let me just mark these properly. Let me go through them properly here. KK, we're going to do the first one. A is an alpha. Photo 1 of KK. Remember testifying about that photograph?
That I've seen it.
Like, I'm just 2 seconds ago. You testified.
Yes.
All right. Do you know what direction that is?
No.
No. Okay. I'm going to show you the next photo. This is KKE as an elephant. This is further down this is almost the same photo as the first one, as A as an alpha. Do you know what direction that photo is from?
No.
No. The last picture in this assortment is KKF as in Frank. That's a different photo, right?
Yes.
Do you know what direction that photo has been taken?
No.
No. Now I'm going to go back to KK, B as in boy, C as in Charlie, D as in dad. So we've got seemingly two different photos here. I'm going to show you KK, B as in boy. That's a photo looking at the direction of where your arrow was matching cone to cone, right?
It appears yes.
All right. Do you know if this is a defense photo or a government photo? Are you aware?
No.
Are you aware of the height taken from this photo?
No.
So we don't know the height of the photographer of this photo, do we?
I don't.
And I'm going to show you government exhibit defense exhibit KKD as in dog. You see that photo?
Yes.
This is actually a government photo. And you see the direction, the same photo type, same kind of viewing on this photo, right?
Yes.
Are you aware of the height of the photographer on this photo?
No.
No, but let me take a look. Do you see if you can't scan all the way out in the horizon, you see from the top of that pit, right? You see that pit, scan all the way out to that horizon. You see where that landscape ends up there?
Yes.
Is that that's the ground, right? That where the light space ends, that's the top of there's a slight elevation here, right?
Correct.
And that's the top, right?
Yes.
And as we look at this photo from patio cone to where the victim cone is at, as you look from this angle, is there anything obstructing your view to where the victim's body is found?
No.
I'm going to ask you too, also, your drone is one of those expensive big ones, I'm sure, right?
It's an Alto.
Well, I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a brand. It's Alto. It's AUTEL. It's believe it's worth about $3,500.
$3,500. Is it like a 4-wing propeller thing?
Yes.
All right. Expensive. A lot of training on that.
Yes.
And can you do like a physical measurement with your hands? Like give a guesstimate?
How big is it?
Yeah. How big is that?
I'll say maybe right around this big.
It's like a big 15 screen laptop kind of thing.
Yes, almost like the screen that I have right here.
Computer monitor.
Yes.
Okay. So if you fly in that terrain, it's going to get snagged on some stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, I'm just going to ask you probably one of the most obvious questions, but that drone, the size of your screen, is much bigger than a bullet, right?
Yes.
Right. So the questions I have, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is my citizens.
Thank you, sir. You can step down. Oh, wait, hold on one second. I forgot. Any questions for this witness from members of the jury? All right, appears to no. All right, thank you, sir. You can step down. The state can
Now
call
we
its next
know.
witness.
In case you didn't know, a drone is bigger than a bullet.
He's going to call Officer Felix. Oh, here's your other one. Sorry.
This is yours. You want me to look at it first?
Here's your other one.
Oh, you're right. Okay, they call. Thank you.
Oh, officer.
I'm sorry, sir. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, officer. Can you state your name and spell your name for the court reporter and for the jury?
Yes, Pedro Felix.
I asked you to spell it too.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Pedro Felix.
Can you briefly introduce yourself to the jury for us?
Yes, good morning. I am Corporal Felix of the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. I'm currently assigned to the Patrol Division.
And how long have you been with Santa Cruz Sheriff's Department?
Total for well over 15, 16 years.
You became involved in this case at some point, right?
Correct.
Who notified you and told you you need to work some part of this case? Who gave you instruction?
Sergeant Rodriguez.
And what was your main job in this case?
My main job was I relieved Sergeant Rodriguez and just safekeep the body.
Okay, so you're familiar where the victim's body was located?
Correct.
And you relieved Sergeant Rodriguez. That was a night shift duty, right?
It was at 7:24 p.m.
PM until when?
I left at 1:43 in the morning.
And why'd you leave?
That's when everything was collected and I left after the body and the lighting equipment was picked up and I was told to leave.
So there's lighting equipment there?
Yes,
And then who picked up the body? Do you recall?
myself and evidence custodian Luis Gonzalez
I mean, where was the body going?
to the Martinez Funeral Home.
You also conducted, or you also did some GPS coordinates.
Correct.
And so do you recall what you did GPS coordinates for what?
For the actual body,
And do you recall what those coordinates were?
not off memory.
Your permission to approach a witness? I just showed you what's been marked as Government Exhibit 1.2. That's your report, is it right? Is that correct? I want you to just review that real quick. Look up when you're done. You ready? Did that report refresh your recollection?
Yes.
What were the coordinates?
It's going to be 31.35304 by negative 110.0239.
And you also, I'm gonna come get that report. Can I just do counsel and judge for this? You also included those coordinates into a Google map, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't do a Google map?
No, that was not me.
I'm gonna show you what's marked as say Exhibit 73. A is an alpha. You don't recall, is it on your screen?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get on your screen in 2 seconds. You recall that photo?
Yes.
You reviewed that photo, right?
Yes.
And that photo captures the GPS coordinates you measured on the day of?
Yes.
Is that red dot, is that reflective of the GPS coordinate where the victim's body was found?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you Government Exhibit 73. B, just a different photo. You see that photo?
Yes.
Is that same coordinates?
Correct.
Red dot indicating the GPS coordinates?
Yes.
Are those fair and accurate representations of the GPS coordinates you took?
Yes.
Finally, Government Exhibit 73C is in Charlie. Do you see that photo? And
Yes.
the red dot is attributed to the GPS coordinates that you took?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
Move to admit 73 A, B, and C, Your Honor.
I just need clarification, Your Honor. I'm looking at the state's exhibit list, and 73 doesn't seem to match what is being presented. So I'm just confused what they are.
What number do we have? We'll renumber these. We'll renumber these for the record.
No, I think that's correct.
We have,
Not to the chart.
hold on, sir. One
That's
second.
right. Just leave it. Just leave it the way it is as 73, and you can remark whatever exhibit was erroneously marked as
Fair
73.
enough.
Okay, can I see what it is then? Because it doesn't describe it. What? Did he take these photos or did he, what did he do? Did he put this on? I take this witness on board, Dyer. Sir, were you able to see the photos on your screen?
Yes.
And did you mark up these photos yourself?
I plot them. I did plot them.
Okay, and it was based off of what, sir?
What we use is CalTopo. What I use is CalTopo is a mapping application which allows us to mark and look up GPS coordinates.
How did you, on that date, you had to start with something accurate to make it marked up. I just don't understand. How did you get the coordinates at that date?
So when I relieved Sergeant Rodriguez, I stood next to the body with my application, which has a GPS on it. There's a button where I press and it gives me my exact location. Then I'm able to mark that location there's layers, maps, depends on how I have it, and it gets recorded. So that's how.
And is this coordinates that are plus minus have room for a little bit of error, or is it precision exact? I mean, if you took one step to the left, would it still say the same coordinate?
No.
Okay, it would be a different coordinate.
Yes.
Okay, then I have no objections, Your Honor.
Exhibit 73, is it A, B, and C is admitted?
I'm just going to publish, permission to publish just 73A as an alpha. That's 73A as an alpha. You recognize that photo, right?
Yes.
That's one of the ones we're talking about, right?
Yes.
That red dot reflects what?
Depends where I marked the location.
It's the GPS location
The
of
GPS location of the body.
that you were there for,
Yes.
right? Just 1 second, Your Honor. Just 1 second, Your Honor. Let me get organized.
Is she waving him away? Mr. Kelly was trying to talk to his lawyer. It looked like she was waving him away. Gotcha.
I'm going to show you what's been, assuming it's been marked as Exhibit 35 for the government. Just us, no publication. Thank you. I'm going to show you some photographs of the evening of, okay? All right, I'm going to show you, I'm going to label this 35A. 35A is an alpha. You recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of what you saw on the night of?
Yes.
Is that the victim's body?
Yes.
I'm going to show you, I'm going to mark as 35B. B is in boy. Another photograph. Recognize that?
Yes.
Fair and accurate?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as, say, Exhibit C is in Charlie. Is that upside down or I can't?
Upside down.
Did I say fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
I'll show you it's been marked 35.
I hope tomorrow we get like the police interview or body cam footage.
5D. Is that a fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
And you were on scene, right?
Correct.
And you watched over the victim's body for what seemed approximately 4 hours, right?
From 7:24 to 1:30.
Oh, more than that. More than that. 6 hours.
somewhere on there.
All right. I'm going to show you, it's been marked Exhibit 35E as an echo. Do you see that photo?
Yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
I'm going to show you, it's marked as Government Exhibit 35F, as in Frank. Recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
Show you Government Exhibit 35G as in giraffe. Recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
I'll show you Government Exhibit 35H as in house. Fair, is you recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
I'm gonna show you Government Exhibit 35I as in indigo. You recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
Just a few more. I'll show you Government Exhibit 35J as in Jenga. You recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
I'll show you Government Exhibit 35K. You recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 35L as in Lima. Recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes,
My last one for you. I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 35M as in Mike. Recognize that photo?
yes,
Fair and accurate?
yes.
You're going to move to admit governments 35A through M into evidence.
No objections, Your Honor.
35A through M are admitted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor? All right, this is 35A as in Apple. What's that a picture of?
That is a picture of the decedent, the body.
Do you have any directionality here? Do you know what direction you're facing? The body's facing?
Well, the body was facing towards the south.
Okay, and so to the right is, what's to the right? Do you know? You were there for 6 hours. What's to the
South
right?
to the right would be west, left. Well, if I'm facing through the body, right's going to be east, left's going to be, correction, right's going to be west, body's going to be east, right to the east. So he's facing kind of southeast.
Right. This is probably easier. Where is the Kelly residence in relationship to this body?
The Kelly residence from the body was, well, the body from the Kelly backyard of the Kelly residence was somewhere southeast
Well, look at the photo. If I look at the photo, where's the house?
towards forward, a little bit north of it to the west, kind of.
Can we just, is it to the right, left, up or down?
Bodies, the houses should be a little bit forward from the feet and to the right.
To the right. Huh. All right. I'm not going to say you're directionally challenged, but that's, I'm going to show you Exhibit 35B as in boy. Is that another photograph
Yes.
of the victim's body?
Yes.
And we're seeing the legs, right? And we see the torso up to the left.
Yes.
We see the boots and the pants, right?
Yes.
$35C as in Charlie. Is that a photo? What's that a photograph of?
The upper torso of the decedent, and then he was with his backpack.
And that, what color,
Camel.
no, what color shirt is that?
That was kind of bluish, greenish type color.
And the color of the pants?
Khaki.
And what
Brown.
color of the backpack?
Was it camouflage?
And where's that backpack on him?
Where's it on?
Where is it on his body?
It's on his shoulders, like strapped on his shoulder.
Would it be fair, is it over his head too?
Yes.
35D, as in David, another photograph of the body, right?
Yes.
That shows from a different angle.
Yes.
35E is an echo. What's that a photo of?
The same. The body.
Different angle, right?
Different angle.
But we see something different in the towards the bottom left, right? What's on his shirt?
What's some dark stains?
What are the? Do you know what the dark stains are?
Blood.
I'm going to show you exhibit 35F as in Frank. Another photograph, a different angle, right?
Correct.
And the backpack is to the right.
Correct.
And that's, you already testified, over his shoulder, over his head?
Yes.
$35G, it's in giraffe. Another photograph, right?
Yes, of the feet.
How tall is that grass, by the way?
Probably a couple of feet.
Couple feet, right? You're from Arizona, right?
Yes.
From the area here?
Yes.
That grass is common in southern Arizona?
Yes.
If someone were to crouch down and hide, would it be easy to hide in that kind of grass?
Yes.
If you're looking for something in that kind of grass, would it be easy to miss something?
Good.
35H. What's that a photograph of?
Of the blood stain.
Close up, right?
Yes.
And we have, just so we orient ourselves, we see the backpack to the right. Right?
Yes.
There's a strap of some sort. You can draw on your monitor too. There's a strap. I'm highlighting the strap right here. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you know if he had like also a fanny pack?
Yes.
All right. Would you know? Do you have any recollection if that's a strap of the fanny pack?
I don't.
Okay. And then we've got some kind of antenna, something over here.
Okay.
See that? Do you recall what that is?
Yes, a radio.
Radio. $35I is an indigo. And that's a close-up shot over the shoulder area of the victim's body, right?
Yes.
You see where that backpack is at?
Yes.
$35J as in Jenga. That's a close-up photo of the radio, right?
Correct.
$35K is in kangaroo. Is that a photo close-up of the left side of the victim's body, lower area?
Correct.
And 35L as in Lima. It's a close-up of his right leg.
Yes.
And finally, we have 35M as in Mike. That's a close-up of the left leg.
Correct.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you get addressed by deputy, Felix, or how do we address you?
No matter.
You don't want me to say, hey, you, do you?
No. Deputy. Corporal.
Deputy? Corporal? You're a corporal? All right. So how long at this time have you been, since you went to the academy?
How long?
Yes, sir.
I went to 2005. 2005. September 2005. That's when I first.
And when you were in the academy, you are trained to handle different situations, including crime scenes. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And when you got to the scene, you were not the first officer guarding the body, were you?
No.
And who was guarding it first, to your knowledge?
Sergeant Omar Rodriguez.
Now, when you go to a crime scene, what's your job as an officer guarding that particular location, what would your job be?
To not allow any unauthorized people to go over there and touch, tamper with the body itself.
So are you allowed to touch and tamper?
No,
So when you say touch it or whatever, you're basically making sure no one touches, moves, alters, does anything until the right people get to the scene. Is that right?
correct.
And what type of right people would that be?
Our investigators.
Crime investigators. Who were your crime investigators?
Well, the people that got there was, at the time, Joseph Bunting, Jorge Inza, Alonso Flores, and Mario Barba.
What's the last one?
Mario Barba.
Okay, but usually the lead detective is not necessarily the one that's working the crime scene. Who is designated to work the actual crime scene? To your knowledge on this date, was January 30th going into the 31st. Who took photographs?
Alonso Flores.
Flores? Who analyzed the body and positioning and drew maps and all that stuff? Who was doing that?
I believe Alonso Flores and Mario Barba were there.
Okay. So it would be proper procedures to wait for the crime scene investigators to come to the body before anything is done in that location. Is that correct?
Correct.
If who is normally designated in training procedures to respond to a body and protect it? Who would be the first person to do that?
The first officer on scene.
First officer? Police officer? Okay. And is it proper procedures to also have some kind of log of who enters the location and leaves the location of a crime scene?
Yes,
Are you aware of that being done?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you know who did it?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Deputy Lopez.
Now, when you get there, the crime scene's very dark, correct?
Yes,
And there were a lot of photos shown to you, and I'd like to go back over them. But my understanding is, will you agree that your job is to make sure no one else enters until the right authority comes into the scene, and that would be crime scene officers, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So your buddy can't go up there. Someone that was patrolling with you shouldn't be up there. You're protecting that body in that location, correct?
yes.
What's the reasons?
Integrity, to keep the body integrity.
Keep it what?
But to keep the body integrity, make sure there's nobody contaminates or anything like that.
Okay, so the integrity, so that proper information will filter down the pathway of the investigation, correct?
Yes,
The proper information will go to the medical examiner, correct?
correct,
The proper information would get to the detective to review, correct?
correct.
And ultimately, that proper information would be reflected in this courtroom, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so if something is altered, that basically attacks the integrity of the crime scene, doesn't it?
Yes,
And you didn't do that, did you?
no,
And you don't know if it was done prior to you getting there, do you?
no.
Exhibit you just had?
35 is up there.
Okay, I'm going to show you some photos that the state just went over with you quickly, and that's state's number 35, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to start with A. Do you notice some straps, what might be the fanny pack or to the, well, it's off to the side by the right hip. Do you notice that?
Yes.
Did you notice when you were guarding the body, there was a backpack and a fanny pack?
Initially, it didn't.
Pardon?
Initially, it didn't.
What does that mean?
When I got there, I just saw the body. I didn't see the fanny pack until it was removed.
Until it was removed?
Well, it was when CID got there and started checking the body.
So these photos are after removed?
These are first. These photos are before.
Before it was removed. But do you see this thing running along the side of the body here?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, somehow I drew. Where it's marked with a red dot. Thank you.
I erased it, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So that appears to be a fanny pack, correct?
Okay.
Would you agree?
Could be.
Okay. And a fanny pack is usually worn on your body. Would you agree?
Typically, yes.
And there is some photos that you may or may not be aware of, but fanny packs are often now worn on the front of your chest. It's the common youthful way of wearing a fanny pack. Have you seen that out there before?
I have.
Okay. And does that appear that this fanny pack is being worn at this moment?
No.
Did you take it off the body?
No.
Do you know who took it off the body?
No.
So if a person's traveling in this terrain, he's probably wearing whatever he has on him. His fanny pack, his backpack, would you agree? If you're hiking?
Typically.
Yes. And so you have no idea why this fanny pack is to the side.
No.
You don't know, have any idea if someone tried to rob him of the contents of this fanny pack, do you?
No.
So you have no idea how this might have got pulled from the front chest of this person that is being photographed?
No.
And I'm going to show you B again, reflecting the fanny pack on there. Seems to be along his side of his body, correct?
Correct.
Now, you didn't take these photos, in all
No.
fairness, correct?
No.
But you did see this person laying there,
Yes.
as reflected by the photos.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what is now C, I believe, 35C. There is a backpack sitting over this gentleman's head. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you notice that the backpack was unzipped?
No.
You never noticed it?
No.
Okay. Let me show you some photos that are not in the state's photos, may be similar or some may be duplicative. But I'm going to show you Defense Exhibit SS, and I'm going to let the state see it. And I'm going to tender it to the witness. Thank you, Judge. Okay, now, does this look like the same person in the photos that you are seeing that have already been published?
Yes.
Okay, so this accurately depicts also just a different angle zoomed in of the deceased?
Yes.
Okay, and you want to look at the rest, you can. Have you had a chance to review these photos?
Yes.
That defense is marked as SS. Do these photos also accurately depict the body as you saw it?
Yes.
And you did say you were out there until the body actually was taken to the morgue?
Yes.
Okay. So you did watch or observe crime scene take some of these photos?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to enter in Defense Exhibit SS.
Real quick, I was just showing the first one, so can I just take a peek at the other? Oh, yeah. No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Kelly ought to be scared of this one right here because, you know, everybody turns away from the pictures except for these two. All right. I think he feels like he can't, but she just does not want to. She wants to see everything, everything, everything. She hasn't blinked this whole time. He needs to watch out for this one right there.
Exhibit SS is admitted.
Permission to publish. Now,
Granted.
we're going to have to get past this. I apologize that we have to look a little more closer to a face. But if this is important, and this is Exhibit A, and I'm more directing more in all respect. Trying to cover up the face just a little bit. Help out. I'm reflecting here more the backpack. Okay. So being sensitive to a partial face being shown, I covered up the face a little bit. But do you notice that this backpack is unzipped?
Yes.
Okay. Do you notice it appears to be unbuckled?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't unzip it, did you?
No.
You didn't raise it above his head, did you?
No.
You didn't see any other officers, did it? Because you were
That picture was too much for her.
guarding on your watch, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you never heard about anyone else doing it up to this point, right?
No.
While you were there, were you still waiting for someone to start taking these photos?
Yes.
Okay, so they came after you took over and guarding?
Yes.
And again, the person that was guarding it first was whom?
Sergeant Omar Rodriguez.
I'm going to show you photo B, defense exhibit, again, still on SS. We're still looking at the backpack or the fanny pack off to the side, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to show you, I believe we're on C. I want to point to the board up here. You see the backpack?
Yes.
Is the head positioned a little bit underneath that backpack at this time? And we're going to go back to the state's exhibit for comparison. Or actually, this is mine. No. State's 35. Just to compare it real quick. Just a little bit different angle, correct?
Yes.
And nestled in the tall grass, you could kind of start to see a head in there, correct?
Yes.
And that backpack is literally on top of them.
Yes.
All right. Did you notice this backpack also had a waist buckle?
No.
You didn't get to see that. Okay. So we got an open backpack above his head, and we don't know why it's like that, correct?
Correct.
And I'm going to show you the next photo in SS, and we're now at D. Once again, we got a different angle, but we got the backpack reflected over his head because you could clearly see the bottom half of the subject and his back, clearly away from the backpack, correct?
Correct.
Not in a normal position, would you agree?
No.
Let me go to, I believe this will be E. Now, at some point, we got a cut strap, correct? Looks like it.
Correct.
Okay. And that is the backpack still, right? It's camouflaged?
Yes.
Or is this the fanny pack? Can you tell?
I can't tell. Looks like the backpack.
Okay. I think we're on F. Just go through this. Okay. You could see the belt line of the deceased, correct? He seems to have a belt on or something, is that right?
Looks like it.
Okay. I think we're on G. Again, you got a better view of the backpack literally on top of his head, right?
Yes.
And possibly some straps that are not buckled up, correct?
Correct.
Most backpacks have a loop at the top. Would you agree? Kind of you could grab your backpack with it, a little loop.
Some.
Did you observe crime scene once they did get there? Did you kind of hang out there with them?
I stayed there.
Okay. Did you observe them rummaging through his personal effects?
I believe they were taking photographs of the interior of the backpack.
So let me show you the last one in here of this grouping. Which I believe is K. It appears that crime scene, and I'm sure you're going to say this is not you, right? You're not doing this.
Yes, that wasn't me.
Someone from crime scene has gloves on, correct?
Correct.
Whoops, wrong one. And do you know why they wear gloves?
Well, we asked for one to not contaminate the item, and obviously for safety reasons also.
Okay, so it's kind of you agree it's a protection for both. One, to keep the evidence from being contaminated, right?
Correct.
In case there's DNA, or fingerprints, or whatever that might be needed later, right?
Correct.
But also, we are possibly dealing with blood, and that's also to protect the officer, right?
Correct.
All right, now this is the fanny pack. Would you agree?
Yes.
You have any idea why it's half empty?
No.
It's half full. Negative Nelly.
Okay, you were unsure of that whether he was wearing a buckle or a belt, and I'm going to go back to States 35, and you could clearly see there is a leather belt, correct?
Correct.
When you said you saw a blood-stained item, that would be just a good logical guess, correct?
Correct.
You're not a chemist in any ways, correct?
Correct.
You didn't see a lot of blood around the body, did you?
No, not that I can recall.
Yes. And did someone bring out some lighting around the body?
Yes.
Are you aware of how big of an area was created around the body to make it a crime scene?
No.
So you don't know how far you could let someone come in or out? You're guarding the body.
Yes.
Only the body?
Only
Or
the
what
body.
about the location around the body?
I was instructed the body.
Pardon?
I was only instructed the body.
So anyone that walked around, as long as they didn't touch the body, was okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, as far as you were concerned, on your orders.
Orders were the body.
Okay. So my question was, if I came 3 feet away from the body, that was okay. You just didn't want them to touch the body.
Not necessarily.
You let them come 3 feet around the body
No.
to look?
No.
Well, how far out did you keep people from coming around the body? That was my question.
The only people that got there were the body were evidence. The crime scene investigators.
Were you aware that there were dogs all around the body?
I know ATF got there.
So you didn't see the homeowner's dogs at all?
No.
Okay. You would admit, though, if you were the first officer at the scene, which you were not on this date, but if you were based on your training and a body was discovered, you would first look to see if the person needed medical care?
Yes.
And if they didn't, you would have protected the body and waited for crime scene?
Can you repeat that?
And if the person appeared to be deceased, did not need any medical care, would you then just stand there and protect the body until backup and crime scene got there?
Correct.
That is what your training is, correct?
Correct.
So you wouldn't personally touch the body.
No.
I'll pass the witness.
Redirect.
Let's talk about first. I start off with recency. Last question pertained to who was around the body or who you allowed to be around the body. Remember those questions?
Yes.
Is this an urban area or a very rural area?
A rural.
Huh?
A rural area.
No one's around, right?
Yes.
There's no one mulling around the area.
Correct.
The only people there are you, and then CID comes.
Yes.
So there's no one to guard off from contaminating the area, is there?
Correct.
Let me ask you, you weren't there when the body was first discovered, were you?
No.
And you were not involved with the processing, right?
No.
So there's two bookends here. You're not familiar with what happened with the officers on scene when they got there, for example, Sergeant Rodriguez.
Correct.
And you didn't partake in the processing of the scene.
No.
Your job was to stand guard and be a sentinel.
Correct.
Would you have any knowledge if the backpack was cut to check for life signs?
No.
Would you have any knowledge that the backpack was open for processing?
No.
Would you have any knowledge? I mean, there were some questions about this fanny pack. Let me just go back general. You're not aware of everyone's proclivity of how to wear a fanny pack, are you?
Correct.
You're not aware if the fanny pack was attached to the backpack, are you?
No.
Instead of being around him, it was attached to the backpack. You're not aware of that, are you?
No.
And you wouldn't have comment or opinion about what may or may not be in a backpack or a fanny pack, do you?
No.
Chapstick. Definitely chapstick.
And you didn't take these photos, did you?
No.
Some of these photos were, you don't know if they were before or after, do you?
Correct.
I asked you to identify if they were fair and accurate representations of what you recall, right?
Correct.
And you can't tell on which bookend, before or after, do you?
No.
That's for someone else to do, right?
Yes.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You could step down.
I'm going to ask the judge, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, hold on, sir, I forgot to ask. I apologize. Any questions for the witness? We do have a question. Counsel,
I think we're going to hear him. I think.
all right, can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, the first question, well, the question is in relation to the first picture of the body, what direction is the house? South, north, east, or west? I'm not sure which picture.
I think it's north, right? Because his feet were pointing north, right?
Can't hear you. Okay. Push the button. We agree about that? All right, any objection? Let's just put the picture back up there and see if you can answer the question. Any objection to that? All right, no objection. I'm going to mark this Felix 1 for purposes of identification. Mr. Jetty, if you would put them. Okay. All right, the question from one of the jurors is, in relation to the first photograph, first picture of the body, what direction is the house? I think the lawyers think you're referring to Exhibit 35A. Let's see.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Government Exhibit 35A as an apple. Do you recall that photograph?
Well, hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
So is that the photograph, juror number 10, that you are referring to? And you want to know in what direction is the house? All right, very well. Do you know, can you answer the question?
The body is facing in the south direction. So if you're looking at, like I'm looking at first view, the house is going to be to the right. on this side.
Sorry, that's the question. All right, very well. Give the question to the clerk. And any other questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you, sir. You can step down. Let me get counsel back on this. Next witness is a lengthy witness. I thought it was a very short witness. We might put the witness on before lunch, but we're going to recess for lunch. It's 11:45. Please be back in the jury room at 1:30. Trial will recommence at 1:30.
Okay. We made it through the morning of the second day. March 26th. Where were you on March 26th? Tuesday. I had off that day. I was not working while they were doing this. I don't know how I missed this trial while it was going on, but I did. Anyway, it's a long one. I listen, man, it's 1:30 a.m. My stream starts at 4:30 and I'm not ready yet for my stream, so I might not be able to edit this tonight and get it out tomorrow by 6. Guys, I need more time in the day. Because listen, this trial is nothing. What I want to do next is a big, big, big mamba wamba one. I need more time during the day. I'm going to use this trial to figure it out. This is my guinea pig trial. You guys are all my guinea pigs. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming out. Um, Discord. Listen, stop into the Discord. It's fun. It's funny. I mean, literally something for everyone. We got crafts, we got food, we got music, all kinds of stuff. Memes, and we have Judge Fleischer, Victoria, Melissa, Logan. They're all in the Discord. They're all in there. So come on into the Discord whenever you want. You don't have to talk. You can just chat, or you can hop into the voice rooms and talk to everybody. You can actually talk to each other. We do it all the time. But thanks for coming out. I will see you tomorrow for today's afternoon of this. Bye, guys. Thank you.